Good morning friends and welcome to the pre-market view. We have seen smart moves across the global markets post the development of the Greece fund, and we've seen some further progress on giving the bailout package and removing the liquidity issue in Greece, which is overall quite positive for the global markets. So US markets were up anywhere from 0.6 to almost about 1.21%. Particularly Nasdaq was much higher than the Dow, as we had some positive numbers coming out from Google and a couple of more companies, and the jobless claims also were down 15,000 to about 2,81,000, which again was a positive surprise. European markets were up anywhere from almost about 1.2% to 1.8% on the back of further progress on the Greece matter. And when we look at the Asian markets today morning, Hang Seng is up almost 1%, Shanghai is up almost about 2%, and most of the other markets like Nikkei etc. are up marginally at about 0.15%, and SGX Nifty is suggesting that we are going to open up almost about 10 odd points. In terms of flows, FIs were net buyers in the cash market to the tune of about 660 odd crore, and even in the index futures they were buyers to the tune of about 1511 crore. Overall, our market saw strong moves on the back of the news that the sectoral allocation cap could be merged, and that means that the further buying in the FI by the FIs in certain banking stocks where the FI limit is already reached can happen. And because of that, we have seen strong moves across the banking names, and even a few other sectors were strong. And we think that given the kind of stability that we are seeing in the global markets, there is definitely a case for further up move in the markets. On that note, let me invite our F&O expert to take you through important F&O cues and ideas that we can have from the F&O desk.
Good morning friends, I will give an analysis on derivatives. In yesterday's market, we have seen Nifty opening up with a positive gains, taking positive cues from the international markets, and later on we have seen Nifty inching higher and making new intraday high constantly, and has gone past its crucial resistance of around 8560 and has closed above 8600 levels at 8626.65. With a gain of around 1.71%. We have seen contribution from most of all these sectors in yesterday's trade, as buying interest was observed in most of these sectors. As open interest of Nifty have also gone up by 4%, and not only Nifty, we have seen Bank Nifty seeing a significant amount of build-up in open interest of around 8% in yesterday's trade. Both major indices have crossed this crucial resistance, and the cost of carry was also quite healthy at 5.63% in yesterday's trade. Put call ratio, we have seen since the start of the series, put call ratio has been constantly trading above 1, and in yesterday's trade seeing a sharp jump from Nifty of around 2 odd percentage. We have seen put call ratio have also gone up from 1.14 to 1.19 levels, which is a positive sign, and we see a further upside in put call ratio in the coming trading session. Indian volatility index have been more or less same, and in fact it have cooled off around 5 odd percentage in yesterday's trade to 14.78 levels. On the options activity, but obvious, there was no respite for the call writers in yesterday's trade, as the higher strike price at the money and out of the money strike price has seen significant amount of unwinding in call option. 8,500, 8,600 has seen a major unwinding. 8,500 has seen an unwinding of 14%, while 8,600 has seen an unwinding of 4%. Now there is not much of build-up in call options which is visible at current juncture, indicating not much of short has been happening in call options, which is a positive sign. While in put option, we are seeing a heavy build-up in put option, especially in at the money strike price. That is 8,600 put option have seen an addition of around close to 100%, while 8,500 put option has seen an addition of 45 odd percentage. Now the momentum, the build-up is now getting shifted to the higher strike price in the put option, while in call option we have seen a significant amount of unwinding. However, in call option 8,600 still remains as the highest in terms of open interest. However, the difference between 8,600 and 700 is quite less, and today's trading session we might see, and the activity of 8,700 call option would be also crucial enough in today's activity, followed by 8,600 put option. And the build-up in put option 8,500 remains as the highest in terms of open interest. There are two securities in bank period, that is Amtech Auto and India Cements. On FIS terms, there were net buyers in index futures. They have been constantly buying in index futures, and they've been buying in quite heavy. In yesterday's trade, there were net buyers of around 1,500 odd crores, and open interest of FIs went up by around 7 odd percentage, indicating good amount of long positions was been built up by FIs. while index options there were net buyers of 755 crores, and in stock futures there were net buyers of 554 odd crores, and stock options there were net sellers of 63 odd crores. Our 5-day web stands at 8,500 with a lower range at 8480 and higher range at around 8706, which is our higher break-even point for the monthly straddle. SGX Nifty is trading flat to positive, indicating some kind of positive opening can be expected. It's up by around 9 odd points at 8641.50. That's it from derivatives. Thank you.
Let me take you to Sharekhan pre-market action, starting with trading ideas. Looping, there's a long call as the company has got US FDA node for diabetes drug called Predimet. So one can go long on looping with the stop loss of 1916 and a target of about 2014 to about 2052. Wokart, there is a short call as the company has recalled over 1.62 lakhs cartons of drugs in US. So one can short Wokart with stop loss of 1574, target of about 1498 to 1467. In other news and updates, European passenger car sales were up 14.6% YOY in June. That's a positive read-through for companies like Motherson Sumi, Bharat Forge and Mahindra CIE. Hyderabad High Court has put on hold the land allotted to Hero MotoCorp in Andhra Pradesh. Siemens has won orders worth about 123 crore from Bangladesh's power grid, which is a positive read-through for Siemens. In other news and updates, Cabinet has approved 8,548 crore power transmission projects, which is positive for the EPC companies like L&T, Kalpataru Power, KEC and other equipment providers like Crompton Greaves. For Crompton Greaves, there is another development. The company is going to provide smart grid infrastructure for Saudi Electricity Company. Ashoka Buildcon has received a 90 crore arbitral award. Government approves the FDI, composite FDI and FII cap in case of many companies, and particularly for the banking stock. This is a very big positive for the banks like Yes Bank, Axis Bank, Kotak Bank, because wherever there is a headroom and further FII buying can be permitted because of this development, these are the banks which would definitely benefit. However, they have also come up with a clarification that wherever the stake exceeds 49%, the government's nod would be required. Maruti Suzuki has received an order for 2071 units for its sports utility vehicle Gypsy. GAIL plans to buy about $1.5 billion of US shale gas because of the Indian demand. OVL participates in auctioning of 14 oil fields in shallow water of the Gulf of Mexico worth a total $17 billion. With acquisition in Italy, Titaga Wagons to aggressively bid for metro coaches. SBI seeks government's note to share 3% of its profits with its employees as incentive. Mindtree acquires two companies worth about 420 crore. Here is a list of stocks with positive and negative bias for the day traders. Stocks with positive bias are Oil India, Arvind and Pidilite. Stocks with negative bias are Bata India and Just Dial. Stocks for investment that we like at this point of time are Aditya Birla Nuvo, Glenmark Pharma, HDFC Bank, Reliance Industries and TCS. And the companies which will be announcing numbers today: ACC Limited, we are looking at a net profit of 191.3 crore, Karnataka Bank 104.50 crore, CRISIL 64.90 crore, CAR Limited 22.1, Dishman Pharma 20.10 and Inox issued about 14.10 crore. That's it from all of us, friends. Have a good weekend and see you on Monday morning.